It is Tuesday, the 30th of July, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Today we're talking about an Irish act, a very influential Irish act, probably one of the few that are internationally known. Well, Irish artists have been more prominent recently, actually, particularly actors, but probably one of the first, Irish acts to get real international prominence outside of, U2 and stuff. And that is the Cranberries. The Cranberries were a band that formed in 1989 with Niall Quinn, Noel Hogan, Mike Hogan, and Fergal Lawler. Then in 1990, Niall Quinn was replaced with Dolores O'Riordan, and that was who was in the band until they eventually ended. Dolores O'Riordan is kind of the representative face of the Cranberries for a lot of people, partially because she was the singer, but that's who people think of when they think of the Cranberries. What a fantastic singer she was, what a great voice she was. She unfortunately passed in 2018, and the band, after finishing the album they were making at the time, then broke up. They're just one of those bands that I've always known about, because, they were releasing music before I was born, so they were just always in the zeitgeist. If you know them, you probably know Zombie, because that's their best known song, I'd say. But also Dreams is pretty popular, as is the song we're talking about today, which is Linger. Why are we talking about Linger today? Well, apart from the fact that it's just a really good song and I want to talk about it, I've specifically had the Royel Otis cover of it stuck in my head the last while, which led me to re-listening to the original. I'm like, man, it's a great song. I should talk about it. So here we are. I will, of course, be linking the Royel Otis cover down below as well. I really like it. I recommend it. But today we are, of course, talking about the original. So we're going to go listen to it now, and then we're going to come back in a few minutes and talk about it. There's something particularly 90s about the vibe of that song. There's something about the production, something about the strings. It just feels very 90s, and I really like that sound. You can hear it in other stuff like, maybe a weird comparison, maybe I'm just thinking because Irish, but the chorus and shit like that just has this kind of sensibility to it that's yeah, this is 90s Irish music. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, or sounded like, rather. So yeah, this was off their first album, Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We, which was released in 1993. Dreams was actually the first single, which was quite successful, and then Linger was the second single, which was even more successful, and then Dreams became more successful again because of Linger, and that's what kind of immediately made them popular. Zombie was in their second album, if you're wondering. Now, we can talk about how great of a singer Dolores O'Riordan was, and we will, but I think it's important to note here as well is that when she joined the band, she would have been 19. She was quite young, and when that album came out, she would have been 22. So again, quite young, she was only 46 when she died, So it's always very impressive when you listen to something like this that's became so iconic and has such a specific feel to it, and you're like, wow, she made this so young. She's such an impressive talent for a first album, at 22 years of age. Incredible. The thing that she's often noted for, and that I personally enjoy a lot, is that she's got a real thick Limerick accent, and it comes through in the singing. I've talked about it on here a bunch. I love when someone's natural accent comes through in their singing rather than flattening it out. And so I think the most obvious part is in the chorus of this with, do you have to let it linger? It just sounds very Irish, Linger. And also, fool for you. And what's the bit at the start? Might be rude, but it's just your attitude. I don't know. You can really hear the limerick in there, And also, she's known for the voice crack thing, the kind of keening thing, but it's not as much in this song, really. It's more so second album, like Zombie. Zombie is famous for the voice cracking there. Anyway, so let's talk about the song itself. I got several quotes about the making of this song. The drummer, Fergal Lawler, said in an interview, "It was a Sunday afternoon. She arrived with a keyboard under her arm, just set it up and played a few songs. We couldn't really hear her because she was singing through a guitar amp or something. I gave her a lift up to the bus stop and I was saying, will we see you next week? We gave her a tape of the music for Linger, which she took with her. The following week she came back and she had lyrics written out and melodies, and she sang along to what we were playing, and it was like, oh my god, she's great." And then I have a quote from Dolores herself. "Linger was the first song we wrote. Initially, it was just a chord shape with no real melody or lyrics. I took a tape of it home and came up with a verse and chorus. I wrote about being rejected. I never imagined that it would become a big song. It was inspired by a night I had at a club called Madonna's. This guy asked me to dance and I thought he was lovely. Until then, I'd always thought that putting tongues in mouths was disgusting, but when he gave me my first proper kiss, I did indeed have to let it linger. I couldn't wait to see him again, but at the next disco, he walked straight past me and asked my friend to dance. I was devastated. Everyone saw me being dumped publicly at the disco. Everything's so dramatic when you're 17, so I poured it into the song. So it's really interesting thinking about how, I mean, like I said, she was so young. It's based on this teenage experience of her first kiss and the other person just not caring afterwards, you know? And I think it captures that very well, you know? So let's talk about the lyrics. If you could return, don't let it burn, don't let it fade. I'm sure I'm not being rude, but it's just your attitude. It's tearing me apart. It's ruining everything. And I swore I would be true, and honey, so did you. So why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you? So like she was saying there about wanting someone to come back, but they don't care. Their attitude is uncaring, and it's tearing this person apart because they care, but then they see them holding someone else's hand, you know. And then the chorus is, but I'm in so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You've got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Just that whole thing of like, you got me wrapped around your finger. Like, you've manipulated me perfectly. I've fallen for you. I'm such a fool for you. And I'm mad at you now because you let it linger, because we had this great first kiss and nothing came of it, you know. And she's stuck in this mode. Oh, I thought the world of you. I thought nothing could go wrong, but I was wrong. I was wrong. If you could get by, trying not to lie, things wouldn't be so confused and I wouldn't feel so used. But you always really knew I just want to be with you. And the chorus again. I like the lyrical structure here because like the first verse has a pretty set structure, and then the second verse doesn't start that way. It starts with the oh, I thought the world of you. Like it's such a different start to the first verse, but then it goes back into the familiar structure. And then yeah, try not to lie, things wouldn't be so confused and I wouldn't feel so used. I like the way she rhymes things here. I like the way she makes them work together. I really like the structure of it. And the, like I commented on earlier, the way she sings the, you know, things so confused and I wouldn't feel so used. I really like how that sounds. I just generally really like the melody of the chorus. The, you know I'm such a fool for you. That's the part that really gets stuck in my head. That and the next line of the you got me wrapped around your finger. Like it roots itself in my it lingers in my head. Yeah, and then it's just the chorus again. Well, there's also the instrumental break. I love the strings in there. That's another very 90s thing about this. Yeah, I just really love it. It's a very good, it captures the feeling of this teenage rejection, you know, so well. Because, I mean, she was feeling it at the time. She knows what she's talking about. And it's such a great capturing of it. And musically, so nice. Such a sort of calm, serene feel to it, but very melancholy, you know. The strings and the drums and everything are really, really nice sounding. I have another quote here from Noel Hogan after Dolores died. It's only really since Dolores passed away that I've grown a proper appreciation for songs like Linger and Dreams. They were just songs in the set list for us. Everybody else was losing their mind about them. And when I listen to them now, I realize how great they are for someone so young, which I never ever appreciated until a year ago. We must have played it a gazillion times in our lives and it just became a part of the set. But it's different now. We were so lucky to have left that behind, to have that legacy. And like I said, it really does capture this teenage feeling so well. So it's no wonder that this band was so propelled to stardom in the 90s, you know, because there would have been so many people in 90s Dublin who would hear this, and it's like fresh new sound, interesting singer, and relatable lyrics. It's such a great song. I mean, generally, no one's gonna fucking dispute me. I think the Cranberries are one of the greatest Irish acts of all time, and this is one of the best Irish songs of all time. I personally prefer Zombie just a little bit, but this is such a great song. It's hard to compare them, really. They're quite different to each other, to be fair. And Dolores O'Riordan was had such a profound effect on Ireland, even when she died. I mean, there was like days of public mourning. She was laid in repose. The president went to her funeral. It was like a state funeral almost for a singer, you know. She was just so beloved in Ireland and had such an impact. There was a floral thing beside the coffin that said the song has ended but the memories linger on, which is obviously obviously referencing this song, and I like that. Why am I talking about so many dead musicians recently? Anyway, fantastic song. I don't think I have much else to say about it. I definitely will be talking about Zombie at some point. I might also talk about Dreams, to be fair. I need to listen to more of the Cranberries. I've listened to their first 2 albums, which are the ones that have the songs that kind of everyone knows, but I haven't listened further than that, and I really need to. There's got to be some good stuff on there that isn't as known by the public. Anyway, like I said, that's pretty much it. Check out that Royel Otis cover. It's really good. Thank you so much for listening. Please give me a like, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Tell people to listen to this show. Tell people to listen to the fucking Cranberries. They're great. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
I've got several tapes. I think it captures that very well, you know? Hold on. Why do I not have a fucking tab with the lyrics open? This is what I get for having a million tabs open at once in 3 different windows.